I shouldn't be showing you this. Every time I dig into the Soviet archives on the Ural Mountains, the digital footprints start following me back. This isn't just a cold case, it's protected state secret. If this video disappears tomorrow, you'll know why. They want you to believe it was an avalanche, and I'm going to show you why it was a massacre. Hit that sub button and let's get into the video. In January 1959, 10 elite hikers headed into the heart of the Ural Mountains. They weren't tourists, they were hardened Soviet athletes who knew how to survive a blizzard. Only one lived, and that's only because his body gave out before the mountain could take his life. When the search party finally found their camp weeks later, it looked like a crime scene from another planet. The tent was buried in snow, but it hadn't been crushed. It had been slashed open, not from the outside, but from the inside. Imagine the terror required to make a man choose a frozen death over the safety of his tent. They found a plate of sliced fat still sitting out for dinner. They didn't even grab their knives. They cut their way out and ran into minus 30-degree night in their socks, and some were barefoot. 9 sets of footprints leading away into the dark side by side, walking calmly their own graves. What could be so scary that a blizzard feels like safety? A massive cedar tree a mile away, they found the first 2 bodies. They were in their underwear, their hands shredded from trying to climb the tree. One of them had even bitten off a chunk of his own hand to see if he could still feel the pain. But as the snow melted months later, the true horror was revealed in a nearby ravine. This is where the physics stopped making sense. Nikolia had skull fractures so deep, pieces of bone were found in his brain. 2 others had their chests crushed with the force of a high-speed car wreck. But here's the kicker. There were no bruises, no skin damage. It was internal destruction. And then there was Ledumia. She was found face down in a stream. Her tongue was gone. Her eyes were gone, ripped out while she was still alive. The autopsy found her stomach full of blood. She was breathing when she was mutilated. Now, the experts will tell you this was a Yeti attack. They may say Menk, the forest spirit, came down and slaughtered them, but use some grit. A monster leaves footprints, a monster leaves blood. On the mountain, there were 9 sets of human tracks and nothing else. The monster is a story for children. The truth is colder. Some point to infrasound, a frequency created by the wind hitting the peak that triggers primal mad panic in human brains. It makes your heart feel like it is exploding. It makes you run until your lungs freeze. But wind doesn't explain why their skin had turned a deep burnt orange. It doesn't why their clothes were radioactive. If a monster didn't drive them out, the military did. Other hikers nearby saw an orange sphere floating in the sky that night. The Soviets were testing R-7 rockets in this area. Did a fuel tank leak? Did a parachute mine detonate above their heads? A pressure wave from a blast explains the broken ribs without the bruises. The radiation on their sweaters explains why the Soviet government locked the files for 60 years and called it a compelling natural force. That's government talk for we killed them and we aren't telling you why. The mountain keeps its secrets, but at Grit Cinema we keep digging. This is the truth that stays cold. We are pushing for 1,000 subscribers tonight. While the rest of the world is distracted, if you've got the grit to join the Brotherhood, hit the sub link in the description. Tell me in the comments, was it the mountain or was it the Kremlin? I'm Tim. Stay gritty and stay alive.